What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Michael Williams, Executive Chairman at Vortex Metals. How are you doing today, Michael?
Good, Aaron. How are you?
I'm doing great. Excited to be talking about Vortex. It must be bittersweet for you, as co-founder David Jones unfortunately passed away. We did do a video with him in the past. I did get to meet him, but obviously you like these projects, yet you tend to gravitate more towards development stage projects. Vortex is more of an exploration company. What attracted you to this?
Well, to sort of your first point was David Jones. Yeah, it's sad and unfortunate that we lost David. He was one of those geologists that in his career had found multiple ore bodies. And in fact, he was the geologist that was credited with discovering Los Filos in the Guerrero Gold Belt when he was project geologist with Teck. And he not only discovered Los Filos, he came up with the model that other geologists have used for skarn deposits in that region to find other ore bodies in the Guerrero Gold Belt. David himself, I think, found up to 6 million ounces with Teck. So when he decided to venture out on his own, he looked to the south, which is Oaxaca, where our projects are, and saw a similar situation to it we originally saw in Guerrero, which is an underexplored belt. And he thought that there was a lot of what we call volcanogenic massive sulfide opportunities to style a deposit, VMS. So he went and staked that ground over the last 10 years or so and put a really good property package together. But more than that, he spent close to 1.8 million with himself, and at one point Oz Minerals was partnered, and he's come up with some very, very appealing exploration targets. And to your point, yeah, I normally prefer development stories. I like ounces or tons, and then be able to demonstrate that we can make them economic with a certain time period. Every now and then a project comes along, though, that I like to take a swing at. You're swinging for the fences on exploration. I've always attached my wagon to really good technical people. Rob McLeod and Adrian Fleming when I was with Underworld and was a co-founder with those guys. And we made a discovery there in the Yukon in 2010, ended up selling the company to Kinross Gold for 129 million after spending 20 million in the ground. But from discovery to takeover was 24 months, almost unheard of in the industry. This is the same type of opportunity. You could see it with Underworld. I can see it with this. What the work that David has done has developed some tremendous targets that are drill ready. We need to do a little further work on several of them to get those projects drill ready, but it's coming. And we'll do that over the next 12 months. We could be drilling some as soon as this fall. So I'm really looking forward to the drilling. That's going to be key, and it's going to be fun. And hopefully we can do David justice and make a big discovery. And I think that will add to his legacy.
Oh, definitely. That'd be awesome too.
Yeah,
it's something big for his legacy, and I'm excited to cover it because we'll be doing quite a few videos when it comes to Vortex. So, Vortex is located in Mexico. Can you tell us more about the area and how it's been working in that location so far?
Well, we're in Oaxaca, which this area was previously underexplored. There, historically, there wasn't a lot of infrastructure. That's changed. It's got Latin America's largest windmill farm is located close by. We're close to roads. You can virtually drive right to the project. Great from that point of view. The knock against Mexico, it takes a long time to permit. And in Oaxaca, permitting can also be even a little bit more sensitive than some of the areas in Mexico. That is the key hurdle for us, is getting all our permits lined up. We're ready to drill several of the targets right now. We currently have a permit to do that. But you don't want to go in sort of ad hoc, just drill one area until you have the other areas sorted out and worked with the local communities. You got to be careful not to upset the apple cart. And, quite frankly, we're in a different era than you were even 5-10 years ago when it comes to permitting. You've got to handle these things with kid gloves, which we're doing. We're doing our consultation period now. We hope to be drilling it either Q4 this year or Q1 next. The majority of our phase 1 targets. So yeah, everything's going well, but those are the issues in Oaxaca.
Definitely. No, that should be an interesting time for you guys. So what are some of the major catalysts then for the short term that we should be looking out for once the company's going public? Because it's almost public.
Yeah, we should be public. Well, that'll be the first catalyst, getting the company trading.
Yeah.
Which we expect end of April, maybe beginning of May. You never know with the exchange and timing, but it looks like we're on track. Everything's essentially been done. We raised $4.2 million. We were oversubscribed. The original raise was going to be, I believe, 2.5. So a lot of interest, a lot of it predicated on, sort of the reputation of David. We've been able to, fill the void geologically. We've added a fellow by the name of Rob Johannesing is going to run the program. Fortunately, met him through David, a good friend of his, knows the area. So that's the key, is getting the geological team on the ground. We'll do a little bit of work with some channel sampling. That's a key factor on one of the targets. That'll give us our drill targets. One of our drill targets is ready to go. It's got a huge geophysical signature. We love it with geology above it. We're dying to see if, it's going to be binary. It could be something really good, or it could be nothing. I think it'll be one or the other. The drill, as we say in the industry, is the truth machine. We're about to find out. So that, coupled with, advancing the permitting, those are the key elements. There isn't a lot more work to do down there. It's ready to go.
Yeah, that's the fun and exploration, right?
Well, it's nerve-wracking. It's fun when that core comes up and you recognize the minerals, and but it's funny. I've drilled holes where I was convinced we were making a discovery, and there's nothing. And then we've drilled holes that were the secondary targets, and boom, it's led to making a discovery. So in this industry, you don't know. What you try to do is you minimize your risk. That's what we've done largely there. But we're seeing showings that are mineralized with copper and gold. We've got coincident geophysical targets with our soil sampling, geochemical. So we've got all the makings of a potential discovery, but it hasn't been drilled, and that's the key thing, because then you know what you have in 3 dimensions rather than in 2. So
yeah,
fingers crossed, Aaron, fingers crossed. But you know what, as far as exploration story goes, I think it's about as good as it gets prior to drilling.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a very exciting year. So, or Q1 next year, whenever we get to drilling.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's Q4, but you know how these things are. Sometimes they drift into another month or 2.
So can you tell us more about your projects and where you see the most potential?
Yeah, absolutely. In Oaxaca, you've got 2 projects. They're relatively close together. Riqueza Marina is the one we'll be doing work on first, and I expect it to see a drill first. That's the project where we've got a significant geophysical anomaly coupled with soil sampling, and we actually have what the geologists refer to as a felsic dome sitting above that project. It's a key geological element of a volcanogenic massive sulfide ore body. And then also it has kilometers of outcrop that's mineralized that we want to follow up on. We'll do a little bit more work there and get that drill ready also. So that's phase 1 targets. And then on our secondary project, Zaquila, we've got some further targets that we need to do. I think we can pretty well go straight to drilling on that. That is looks like a huge geological environment. We're seeing things that would lead us to believe that if there is a volcanogenic massive sulfide body there, it could be, the Noranda-esque type of style, which is what we're looking for. But once again, you would need the drills will largely tell the story there. But that they're very prospective. And then our third project's one called Rescate. It's in Pueblo, which is the state right beside Oaxaca. It's a gold project. There's a small gold mine close by. We've got a lot of the ground along strike. We'd like to do some work on it. We think we can develop some gold targets that potentially could be significant grade that we'd like to follow up on. Given where we sit with that as far as permitting, that actually might get drilled in Q4 of this year, either concurrently or a little bit before the two projects in Oaxaca. So as far as which are it's going to be dictated to which ones we can drill to first. I can't tell you which one we like better until we ask me after we've drilled all three, then I'll tell you.
No, for sure. It sounds like you guys got some really exciting projects there.
Yeah, these are good, and I rarely see targets of this nature at this stage.
Definitely, and I think it's cool that you have exposure to gold and copper. So not just precious metals. We also have copper in the mix. So let's talk about the environment for these metals. So with everything going on in the world today, how do you feel about, let's say, the future prospects for copper and gold in this market?
Well, I've always been a copper fan. I can never figure out the gold market. I just kind of react to it. So what we do is, historically, we look at reasonable gold prices and try build the project up from there. But, I saw some inflation numbers today. I think we're looking at 8% in the United States. The Canadian government saying that Canadians are at 5.5. That's not insignificant. And historically, when we see inflation, especially of that magnitude, gold tends to move up. So I'm optimistic we'll see an increase in the gold price. We don't necessarily need it. $2,000 gold still, in my books, really good. As far as copper goes, it's the ultimate green metal. We don't have enough above ground copper to supply the EV industry, the electrification. There's shortfalls. The Canadian government has just come out and said they're going to give the companies not subsidies but benefits to searching for those type of battery metals in copper. The reason is we don't have enough, and we're not going to have enough. There's just it takes years to find economic ore bodies in some cases, and there hasn't been a lot of work done in the last 10 years. So I think the future for copper in the medium and long term is, not to sound trite, it could be a semi-precious metal, and it certainly will be a strategic metal. So I think we're well positioned on that. If we do make a discovery, I think you'll see a lot of attention associated with it, because historically, Mexico's produced a lot of copper, and certainly one of the political areas that it plays well in.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm excited for the future when it comes to copper, because it should power the EV market, and it's going to be a very important metal. So where's the best place for investors to find out more information about the company?
www.vortexmetals.com. Within about approximately 2 weeks, TSX Venture will be trading under the symbol, ironically, VMS. TSX Venture under the symbol VMS. We were able to
Michael. Well, thank you for all that information. I look forward to covering this. I know this is going to be one of many videos, as it's going to get more exciting into the year and into next year. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, well, keep your fingers crossed. This is going to be a fun one.
If you like these videos, kindly hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Drop us a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. And finally, always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. Furthermore, this video may or may not have been sponsored by the companies that we've profiled within this video, and we may or may not own shares of any of the profiled companies in this video. If you want to know the full disclosure details, check the description down below, along with thoroughly reading our disclaimer. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.